Alrighty, so what if Jujutsu Kaisen had its very own Pokemon trainer? Now, I know I did cover a similar topic with Geto a couple weeks ago, but this week we're changing it up just a tiny bit because we're making a true Pokemon style sorcerer. Today we'll be taking Saki Rindo from the JJK Phantom Parade game and imagining what would happen if she had the ability to capture cursed spirits. But without further ado, let's dive right in. In Phantom Parade, Saki attends a branch school of Tokyo Jujutsu Tech, but in this timeline, that school is already shut down. Her classmates are split between Kyoto and Tokyo, with Saki herself attending Tokyo. Now, Saki's innate technique in this timeline is called Capture. Using orbs wrapped with talismans, basically cursed Pokeballs, she can seal curses inside as long as they're weakened enough. Thanks to a binding vow, she can only hold 6 spirits at once, which boosts stability and prevents her technique from becoming too broken. When using Capture, she casts a ritual and puts up a standard barrier, the same ones that Yuji uses, that locks the battlefield until someone faints, surrenders, or is exorcised. Think of it like a proto-domain similar to Megami's Maharaga taming ritual, just with a couple of extra steps. Now let's get into the story proper with the Fearsome Womb Arc, an arc that I have not had the chance to cover up until this point, just because so much stuff happens after it. But regardless, Saki arrives probably the same day as Nobara, meaning that they travel to Tokyo Tech together. She's loud, brash, and competitive, which really annoys Nobara, but it actually keeps Yuji entertained. I think they would actually feed off of each other pretty well. On their first mission, Nobara rushes off on her own, and Saki bolts right after her out of pure rivalry. When Nobara encounters a Roppongi curse and Yuji breaks through a wall to get to the hostage, Saki runs in and pops her ritual immediately. A barrier slams down, trapping the sorcerers, the hostage, and the curse all together. The spirit panics, but Nobara weakens it with resonance, and Saki finishes it by sealing the curse into one of her orbs. She brags that it's weak, but way better than the flyhead she started with. Yuji would fist bump her, while Nobara begrudgingly admits that Saki does have her uses. Now, despite getting along with those two, their next mission proves to be a little more challenging. Their investigation of the detention center starts off rough. She scolds Megami when he's cold towards the victims. As a former delinquent herself, she knows people can change and become better. Now, when the finger bearer appears, Saki tries to cast her ritual, but Yuji stops her, insisting that he'll handle it with Sukuna. She reluctantly helps get Nobara to safety, but after Sukuna exorcises the curse, he turns his attention to Megami and Saki. She tries to pop her ritual again, summoning her Roppongi curse, but Sukuna dismisses it with one single slash. He mocks her, but she stands tall, declaring he'll have to slaughter all of them to leave, which honestly only makes Sukuna grin. She's swiftly beaten, but Megami saves her by distracting Sukuna. Yuji then regains control, but perishes in the process, something that shakes Saki to her core. For all of her bravado, Yuji's loss hits her hard. She briefly considers quitting sorcery to avoid more pain, but when Nobara and Megami vow to get stronger in Yuji's memory, Saki refuses to be left behind. Now, because she isn't aware of Yuji's survival, she never takes place in the Versus Mahito arc, but that doesn't mean she does nothing. When the second years arrive and offer to train Megami and Nobara, Saki obviously signs up. The second years help out, though they admit that Hikari would have been a perfect teacher for Saki. Maki trains her physical ability, while Panda and Inumaki drill her in cursed energy reinforcement. She also realizes her spirits can improve alongside her thanks to an idea from Panda. By training with Roppongi and Flyhead, she boosts them from grade 4 into maybe mid-grade 3 curses, with sharper energy control. Now, when Toto and Mai confront the first years, Saki immediately steps up, calling Toto a top-knot gorilla, because obviously she would. He asks her type, and she answers that she likes tough guys who get their hands dirty. Toto is delighted as it reminded him of his sensei, and a fight breaks out. Saki puts up her ritual, but Toto overwhelms her and Megami with ease. However, he ends the battle quickly out of respect, even tossing her a bit of advice to use her spirits more creatively. Though beaten, Saki finds herself more fired up than ever to reach Grade 1. Now, during the Kyoto Exchange Event, when Yuji is revealed to be alive, Saki greets him with a shoulder pat, then smacks him atop the head for hiding the fact that he had survived. During strategy talks, she demands a solo rematch with Toto, but the group pairs her with Yuji. The fight with Toto is fist heavy, with Yuji impressing him and Saki distracting with Roppongi on the ground and Flyhead striking from above. Toto sees her potential but criticizes her battlefield control. If she refines her ritual into a full domain, she'll be terrifying. Still, he believes both sorcerers have the right mindset and begins teaching them about Black Flash. Once Hanami arrives, Toto challenges both to land a Black Flash. Yuji channels Junpei while Saki channels her guilt over Yuji's death. Both run in and they actually land a Black Flash together, stunning Hanami momentarily. Now, at this point, Toto also begins to have a false memory of all three being childhood friends and later down the line siblings. Together, the trio begin beating on the special grade, with Saki even summoning Roppongi and declaring she'll capture Hanami no matter what. Though she fails to seal the special grade, the team pushes Hanami to the brink. When the spirit goes to use their domain, Saki and Toto jump in to prevent it, and since Hanami can't escape Saki's ritual barrier, they end up taking a hollow purple to the face, and that means Hanami is gone, fully, no survival. Saki is frustrated that the curse was exercised, but she's still motivated after hitting a Black Flash. She's hyped to see just what she can do with this new realm of power. By the point of the painting arc, Saki's grown strong. Roppongi and Flyhead have trained up to maybe a grade 2, and she's more confident in her technique. During the Yasuhachi Bridge investigation, she notices Megami's strange mood, and I think she'd blatantly just call him out, forcing him to open up about his sister. This means the first years head in together and destroy the curse quicker. However, the team is still split up when Kechizu arrives and the finger bearer reveals itself. Saki ends up standing by Megami and boldly declares that it won't go like last time. She and Megami fight hard, but the curse overpowers them and ends up going after Saki. Just as she's going to be run through by its claws, Roppongi sacrifices itself to protect Saki. Fueled by grief and determination, and once Megami's is blown away, she unleashes her very own domain expansion, Binding Coliseum. A cracked concrete arena with glowing talisman marked walls slams down. It's less about guaranteed hits and more about enforcing the rules of a ritual. She locks the finger bearer alongside Megami and Divine Dog inside. Together, they move to end the curse, but Saki's technique captures it, not allowing it to be exorcised, sealing not just the spirit, but also Sukuna's finger. Exhausted and bleeding, Saki drops the domain, laughing alongside Megami as they survive by the skin of their teeth. Back at Jujutsu Tech, the students are all recommended for grade 1, but behind closed doors, the higher-ups whisper, Saki has captured a special grade curse, and her technique could make her just as dangerous as Geto once was. They don't trust her, and soon talks of assassination echo through the halls. But that's where we're going to be leaving it for right now. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe for more. And if you want more Pokemon Trainer X Jujutsu Kaisen content, check out my earlier video on Geto. And now it's time for the post-show talk. This one was just stupid and fun to write, honestly. It's a breath of fresh air after the whole Geto debacle. I actually ended up writing Geto, then this one, then Gojo, but I'm gonna flip this one and the Gojo one around in order to break up the Pokemon content because, you know, algorithm stuff. But man, this one is really fun, and this one I actually see going on for quite a little bit. I can see this one being like a 5, maybe 6-part series. I don't ever want to go over a certain amount. I never want to do like a 10-part series because that's too long, at least in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Salad Saiyan. I love Moscow X, right? two of my biggest inspirations. I even love Plus Ultraman, right? Some of my biggest inspirations when it comes to writing this kind of content. But man, I just can't do it. And honestly, you got to have a bit of variety, right? Like, if you're doing 20-part series, that's crazy. Although I will say, when it comes to padding out your content, that's probably like one of the best ways to do it. It's just, you got to be real creative for that, right? But anyways, this one is fun, and I cannot wait to see what Kenjaku thinks about this chick that can just steal cursed spirits. I also can't wait to see how Shibuya ends up going, because as we all know, several cursed spirits get pretty weakened during that point. So she has some opportunities, right? So I'm going to say, but yeah, I'm so excited to see where this one goes. After this, I'm probably going to try and write Junpei Part 2. I'm going to write this one Part 2. Maybe Hanami Part 2. We'll see. I need to see how that one performs. But this one and the Junpei one, oh, those two are like my most exciting ones for me personally to like write another one. And then I'm also probably going to do What If Esso and Kechisu Survived? Just one, to get a little more varied content because I'm actually going into Shibuya. And two, because I just love Esso. Esso is so cool looking. I love the black eyes. I don't know why. I think it's probably because of Tokyo Ghoul, right? But yeah, just a absolute banger aesthetic for me. So I'm gonna stop recording and start writing those. That's it for now. You guys have a good day or night wherever you are. Bye bye.